listening to the Pinoy Podcast.
And we're back on Pinoy Podcast, episode number 30. This is G with the G and Chandela. I'm with Chandela on the studio. Welcome back, Chandela.
Hi, G.
Hello. So, let's continue reading the summary of the charges against Napoles and Company filed by the Department of Justice based on the investigation by the NBI.
Okay.
So, as I've said earlier, the kickback of the lawmaker is already paid in advance. First, upon submission of the project list to the DBM, and second, upon the release of the SARO. The chief of staff of the lawmaker or his representative who facilitates documents and follows up with agencies for the lawmaker and the police also gets 1 to 5% of the project cost, also as kickback. Finally, Napoles gives 10% of the project cost to the head of the implementing agency, also as kickback. The rest is pocketed by Napoles after deducting the cost of overpriced supplies, such as agricultural kits and training materials procured from a supplier enterprise, which is owned by her, or the full remaining amount if there is no delivery at all. So in short, the lawmaker gets a kickback in advance, and the chief of staff or his representative gets 1 to 5% of the cost. So this is a significant amount.
Okay. Where are you? Hello?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
And the 10 NGOs used as conduits of the scam were ordered to be incorporated by Napoles through the employees and other individuals, such as her relatives, households, and drivers. So pati mga driver ni Napoles ginamit niya para sa scam na to.
Oo, pati yung mga kasambahay niya.
Kasambahay, mga like siguro pati tagaluto niya ginamit niya sa mga NGOs, right?
Isa nga, presidente.
Oo. So, ginawa itong negosyo ni Napoles, itong mga kickback na to. Ginawa niyang enterprise.
Yes.
Ginawa niyang family enterprise, alright? At nalaman din ng NBI that there is deliberate failure of control, management, and monitoring. So this responsibility falls on the shoulders of the implementing agencies. In the end, there is really nothing to monitor because all the funds that were supposed to be used for the project had in reality already been pocketed by the lawmaker, Napoles, the head of the implementing agency, the lawmaker's chief of staff, and probably other officials whose signatures were needed to facilitate the scam and are bribed to look the other way. The NBI said, this is the very reason why no one among the actors who are who are all responsible for ensuring the legitimate use of public funds through the actual implementation of projects at full cost of the funds released. In other words, ito ang dahilan kung bakit walang sino man sa mga na-involved ang gumawa ng aksyon related sa kanyang duly
Pera
sworn
na yan eh. Action ka ba?
obligation.
To stop it?
Yeah. Yep. So walang sino man ang pumigil upang mahinto ito among the actors, okay? So they all allowed it to happen. The amount of plunder accumulated by each lawmaker representing the kickbacks received from Napoles is as follows. 1 points in relay, 172 million. Ramon Revilla Jr., 224 million. Senator Jingo Estrada, 183 million. Former Congressman Sichon Lanete, 108 million. So this big list includes This big list of amounts includes 8 lawmakers. And the smallest amount is 20 million. That's former Congressman Constantino Haraula. So these are the alleged kickbacks that were pocketed by the lawmakers. Finally, here's what the DOJ recommended and the NBI. The NBI recommends to the Office of the Ombudsman that the respondents named in the transmittal letter complaints be subjected to the corresponding preliminary investigation for purposes of filing the corresponding charges before the Sandigan Bayan. It, however, remains the prerogative of the Ombudsman, after an evaluation of the complaints and their attachments, whether or not to conduct further fact-finding investigation on the complaints instead of immediately setting the same for preliminary investigation. So what you just heard was kind of a lawyer talk, but in layman's terms, nirekomenda ng NBI sa Ombudsman's Office na ang mga nabanggit na nasasangkot ay masubject sa preliminary investigation. So hindi pa sila nasampahan ng kaso.
Yes.
The DOJ found sufficient evidence for the filing of complaints, but they have not yet filed the complaint. So malinaw 'yon. This is a result of the investigation, and the recommendation is for the Ombudsman to conduct a preliminary investigation for purposes of filing the charges before the Sandigan Bayan. So wala pang charges ito, Sandela. This is just for preliminary investigation.
Yes. Ano to? So hindi pa sila nasampahan.
Hindi pa.
Nasampahan sila.
Hindi pa sila nasampahan ng kaso. Ang dokumentong binasa natin ay summary
ng investigation
which says
ng NBI.
Summary ng investigation ng NBI which found sufficient evidence to file charges. And now the next step is for the Office of the Ombudsman to conduct a preliminary investigation. And based on that, they will file charges sa Sandigan Bayan, which is the Anti-Corruption Court of the Philippines.
Nabasa ko nga sa news na si Bong Revilla is teary-eyed pa. Na wag naman daw sana siyang husgahan agad.
Okay.
Dun sa isasampa sa kanyang plunder, mangiyak-ngiyak pa siya.
Well,
I mean,
dito na-realize na talagang seryoso ito at hindi ito isang moro-moro, you know?
yeah.
I mean, it's too early to say kung ano magiging outcome nito, pero we hope that this is gonna be like a turning point sa ating, you know, government na talagang stamp out yung graft and corruption.
So, sabi nga, ang epekto nito, di ba, sa isang public officer na still in office, kung sakaling makasampahan man ng plunder, is dapat suspended to.
What do you mean suspended?
Kunwari, si Bong Revilla, yung mga senador ngayon na nasa pwesto, kung masasampahan sila ng plunder, dapat masuspend sila from office.
Oh, definitely. They should be not in their positions right now because they might influence the investigation.
Mm-mm. And ano bang parusa ng plunder? Under Republic Act 7080, it's death. You know?
It's death?
Yeah, death, reclusion perpetua, habang buhay na pagkakakulong to death. Since wala tayong death penalty, habang buhay na pagkakakulong ito.
Yes, this is a very serious case. That's why we cannot blame Bong Revilla if he's teary-eyed. And according to the NBI, there's sufficient evidence to file charges.
This is no drama. This is no what is this? Walang dito, walang script. Alam mo yun?
Script.
Wala nang sasabi ng
happy ending.
You know, walang sasabi ng cut. Good take. Walang ganyan. So,
walang ganun.
This is really happening now.
Kaya we are really interested in this case because may this be the final wake-up call for the Filipino people and our public officials na tama na yan pangungurakot, alam mo. Dahil naghihirap ang Pilipino dahil sa pangungurakot eh. Lahat na nadamay, ang media, alam mo, mismo ang pinakamababang unit ng government na ang barangay ay nakakorrupt dahil sa corruption. Dahil sa lagay, sa bribes.
So, maapektuhan na naman ng mga investors dito. I mean, up to what extent is graft and corruption deterrent to the your willingness to invest in the Philippines? You know, put your money here. Diba?
Well, you know what? Some companies actually consider the cost of investment. They already add the cost of, putting up a business. Or maybe setting up a factory, which in some countries would require like a bribe.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to money, nawawala lang morality.
Yes.
Kahit mga big companies, they portray themselves as good companies, pero behind the scenes you don't know what's happening. Maybe they're bribing, people to set up their own business.
Mm-hmm.
Halimbawa, like sa India, which is also has a problem of corruption, when companies set up business there, ina-add na nila ang cost of grease money.
Yung mga representation nila.
Yes, ina-add nila yan sa cost of investment.
So overhead expenses nila.
Kasi sa mga corporations, hindi mo sila maasahan na i-uphold ang public good eh. Their only concern is to make money and grow their business.
Pero kung ikaw, siguro sa malalaking kumpanya yan, isama mo yung grease money dun sa investment cost mo. Pero paano kung maliit ka lang na estudyante, na negosyante, starting?
Ito, may tatanong ako sa'yo, okay?
Mm.
Sa simpleng usapin ng fire permit, di ba nababalitaan natin na mayroong mga negosyo, mga tindahan na naglalagay sa mga
Sa City Hall?
City Hall para maapurbahan nyo. Di ba, alam naman natin na nagko-comply sila sa fire code o sa building code.
Aha.
Pero hinihingan pa rin sila.
Mhm.
Kasi kung hindi, papahirapan ng kanilang papeles.
Okay.
I mean, we were not born yesterday, you know? This
Okay.
is happening. Right? I mean, do you agree?
Okay. Sa bagay, oo nga.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you can either, sing and dance with them. Like, okay, sige, I'm gonna pay you, I'm gonna give you grease money, tigilan mo lang ako. Or you can fight them.
O, so, wala tayong dito. Wala tayong karapatang magreklamo.
Meron.
We
You can fight them.
participated eh.
You can fight them.
Oo nga,
But at a cost. Okay?
kung halimbawa nga na isa ka dun sa mga, sige, ito na hinihingi mo, wag mo lang ako pahirapan. So, wala kang karapatang magreklamo.
Wala kang karapatang magreklamo kung part ka ng corruption.
Mhm.
Okay? Wala kang moral ascendancy na magreklamo. Pero, pwede ka maging state witness.
Mhm.
Diba? Kung hiningan ka ng bribe or you were being shaken down, extortion, I mean, you can give and make sure na dinadocument mo lahat yan. If you can take a recording, take pictures or whatever. And then if you really want to be part of the anti-corruption movement.
Alam mo, yung iba kasi nawawalan na rin ng gana ng ganyang magreklamo kasi lalo na kung alam nilang malakas yung kinakalaban nila, nasasayang lang yung effort nila kasi wala
Kung malakas ang kalaban mo, marami naman mga anti-corruption groups sa Philippines eh. You can go to them. Merong mga NGOs, merong mga citizens groups, merong mga media group na lumalaban sa corruption. You can go to them.
Saka syempre, isa pa iniisip din nila yung safety nila.
Well, that's a big problem sa ating bansa dahil the corruption has really, it's like a virus. It has affected even law enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
So some people don't have trust even in our law enforcers because so where do we start? Sandela, where do we start?
Umpisahan mo sa maliliit na bagay.
Yes, I agree.
Alam mo, yung siguro graft and corruption can be, avoided sa simpleng, like, umpisahan mo sa traffic.
Mhm.
Diba? Diyan pa lang, may graft and corruption na dyan.
Yes.
Umpisahan mo sa maliliit na bagay kung saan yung mga, kung saan nakikita ng tao, yung where it is really happening, umpisahan mo sa baba,
Mhm.
pataas.
Mhm.
Sa simpleng pagtatapon ng basura, may corruption.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, doon muna tayo mag-umpisa.
Yes, I agree.
Umpisahan mo rin sa sarili mo. Huwag kang makikontribute.
Mhm.
Kung magkano,
Alam mo, para sa ibang tao, sabi nila, it doesn't make sense to start with yourself, but it's really very important to start with yourself.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Kasi kung lahat ng tao, lahat ng Pilipino, gano'n na magiging mentality, I'm sure malaking bagay ang magagawa nun.
Halimbawa, dumating sa'yo si Captain, Barangay Captain, binibili ang yung boto. Sabihin mo, ayaw mo, hawag. Wag mo tanggapin yung pera, bumoto ka ayon sa iyong konsensya.
So, ito ang ito ang isa sa mga sanhi ng kahirapan ng buhay sa Pilipinas. Graft and corruption, right?
Yes, it's sabi ko nga, it's a virus eh.
So, ang isa ring ang matinding evident ang, kung saan mo makikita yung hirap ng buhay, alam mo kung saan?
Saan?
Sa game shows. Game shows sa TV.
So, isa yung evidence.
Oo.
Okay, can you explain?
Kasi, game of chance. Nakapansin mo yung mga, katulad na lang sa Itbulaga.
Okay.
Yung one for all. Yung parang ganun, yung pupunta sila sa isang barangay. Doon, it states talaga na mahirap ang buhay sa Pilipinas. Kasi, willing sila na, magpila doon, magbilad sa init ng araw, hingin ko ano man ang hinihingi ng programa para sa pera. Kung kay Willie Revillame, yung dati, yung nagka-stampede pa sa Pasig, na may mga namatay pa. Dahil nakapila sila doon sa labas at nag-uunahan makapasok sa loob ng vet. Sa hirap ng buhay, ito yung easy money eh. Mga game show sa TV na hindi ka papahirapan, mag-participate ka lang, mananalo ka ng pera. Nakakalungkot din minsan, no? Na ganun yun.
Kaya nga, alam mo, kaya nga magsimula tayo sa ating sarili, no? Kung meron kang trabaho, gawin mo ang trabaho na mabuti. Huwag ka mandadaya. Kung bawal lang mag-Facebook sa trabaho, huwag ka mag-Facebook, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, mga ganun bagay ba? Kasi, binabayaran ka ng employer mo to work.
Sa office namin, bawal ang Facebook na.
Kung meron kang break time, siguraduhin na bumalik ka sa trabaho ng tamang oras.
Yes.
Alam mo, napakaraming mga bagay na pwede mong umpisahan sa maliit na bagay. At kung lahat tayo gagawin natin yun, we will stamp out corruption. Isa pa, yung pagbibigay ng pabor sa mga kamag-anak.
Yes.
Kasi alam mo, Pilipinas, di ba, meron tayong, we are known for our extended families, right? So kahit na napakalayong pinsan pa yan, lumapit sa'yo, dahil kamag-anak mo, you will give favors, which in some cases could lead to corruption.
So, I hope sa darating na eleksyon sa 2016, bumoto tayo ng tama.
Yes, bumoto ng tama.
Public office, alam mo, madali lang naman yan eh. Kung sisimulan mo bilang isang public official, simulan mo sa puso mo. Instead na tawagin mo yung sarili mong public official, call yourself public servant.
Yes.
Doon dapat yan
always think of yourself as a servant. And not a public boss.
Yes.
No, a public servant. Alam mo, napakaraming honest na tao sa gobyerno eh.
Yeah.
No?
Meron pa rin naman.
Napakarami. Subalit, sila ay nasasapawan ng mga ilang mga bulok na itlog na sumisira sa public service as a institution.
Minsan din kinakain na rin sila ng sistema. Diba? Parang napag-iisip sila nila siguro, if you cannot beat them, join them.
Yes, that's the sad part. Well, what can we say, except to call on everybody na magkaroon ng konsensya. mahalin ang ating bayan.
Oo.
Even those Filipinos abroad who think na malayo ako sa Pilipinas, hindi ako apektado niyan, sana magkaroon din tayo ng pagmamahal sa ating lupang sinilangan.
Kaya,
At kung tayo ay mga second generation Filipino sa ibang bansa, balikan natin ang ating roots, and let's help the Philippines become a better and stronger nation.
yes.
Approve ba? Approve?
Approve. Sumasakit ulo ako dito sa corruption na ito. Parang,
Yes.
and to think na yung mga yung mga dami NGOs, yung mga pondo pa para sa mga magsasaka, sa agriculture.
Yun ang masakit eh. Alam mo, ang perang ito ay dapat sa mga magsasaka, mangingisda, sa mga small businesses, trying to, provide jobs and livelihood to people, and then binubusa lang.
Oo, yung pang pinakamahihirap na sektor ng lipunan natin ang pinaka-apektado. So, sana...
Nakalungkot, pero...
Sana kung mapatunayan man yan, may mangyari, hindi lang katulad ng case kay Erap, ng mga ibang plunder cases na nauwi sa wala.
Well, kami dito sa Pinoy Podcast at Podcast Pilipinas, we will do our share by being a venue for airing, messages like this, calling for people to join hands and fight corruption. At kasama ko, ako si G, si Shandala. Kasama nyo kami sa as one, iisa tayo sa ating adhikain na mapabuti ang ating bansa. Hindi lang ating bansa, kundi society and the world as general. We want to make the world a better place to live in. Right, Chandala?
Yes. Isipin nyo na lang yung mga susunod na henerasyon nyo pa.
Yes. Huwag po tayo maging selfish, yun lang.
Isipin nyo pa yung mga magiging anak nyo at magiging apo nyo. So, dapat umpisahan nyo na ngayon para mag-benefit yung mga susunod na generation.
Okay. On that note, we are ending this episode. You just listened to G and Chandala Show on Pinoy Podcast. We are live Monday to Friday with a special episode on Saturdays with Tonzi.
Okay, yes.
And thank you for listening. We love you all.
We love you all.
Tama ba yun? Tama ba ang English ko? We love you all.
Yeah, we love you all.
Spread the love.
Yeah, spread the love, not the corruption.
Yes.
And I hope sana maghimas sila ng malamig na rehas na bakal. Alam mo itong mga iba dito, kilala ko to kaya lang, hayaan mo na. I mean, at one time, I was able to work with Ramon Revilla and Attorney Camp.
Alam mo si Dennis Cunanan, kasama ko nung college. And, alam mo, nakakalungkot talaga pag mayroong na-involved na malapit sa'yo. Alam mo yun? Parang shocking, di ba? But, justice has to prevail.
Yes.
Justice has to prevail. Although we are praying for the families of these persons involved. Alam ko ang kanilang mga families going through tough times right now. Ang kanilang mga anak, especially mga anak nila. Walang kinalaman. Pero life has to go on, justice has to prevail, and dapat parusahan upang ang ganitong mga pangyayari ay hindi na maulit.
For sure, maulit pa yan. Wala naman dalaan tao
Hindi, I'm just praying na hindi, okay? And
Yes. That's all we can do for now. Pray.
Yes. Pray and do good
Yes.
to our fellow men.
So sana
Spread the love.
Yeah, sana lang talaga sa next election, no, yung mga boto nyo na yan, gamitin nyo ng tama. Para hindi kayo magreklamo, nagrarally sa kalye na. Tapos, pagtapos yung iboto ng kasi minsan, pagtapos manalo ng politiko, landslide pa yun, ha? Eto na, mga ilang taon lang, eto na. Nasa EDSA na, nasa Luneta na, napatalsik na. Ikaw bumoto dyan eh. Sana,
kahit naman binoto mo kung nangurakot naman.
Yun nga, sana isip mo, diba? Sana isipin mo bago ka bumoto na hindi ka lang nadaan sa dami ng commercial sa TV, sa
ayan, importante yan. Tingnan ng track record.
Radio, diba? Oo.
Tingnan ng track record at ang pagkatao.
Yes.
Okay.
Huwag kang padala sa mga magaling magsalita sa entablado, sa dami ng hinihista sa rally.
Yes.
Sa mga meeting de avance, sa dami
maging mas matalino po tayo.
Yes. Mga plataforma na hindi naman nagagawa.
Well, this is not the last time we'll talk about this. I'm sure we'll talk about this again pag na-file yung charges. So, if you have any comments, violent reactions, questions, suggestions, just contact us on pinoypodcast.com/live. If you want to join us on air, just add us on Skype, Pinoy Podcast. You can also follow us on Facebook. You can also follow Shandala on Facebook. She's becoming very popular there. She's now a celebrity.
Yeah.
Baka naman pag sumikat ka na tatakbo ka ng barangay captain ng sa General Trias. Or maybe mayor.
Hindi ko yan naisip. hindi yan sumagi sa ambition ko na gusto kong isang araw maging politiko. Yan.
Okay. Malay mo, di ba?
Makakasama yan sa akin. Sure na.
Okay. Sure na ba? Alright. You can serve naman even wala ka sa politics hindi ba?
Yes, oo.
Yeah.
Kaya lang kasi
like now we are serving the people by broadcasting on the internet.
Yeah.
You know? We're entertaining them, informing them, and educating them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. On that note, we'll see you tomorrow.
Yes.
This is G, and
this is Shandala
for
the G and Shandala Show. We'll see you tomorrow.
On what program?
What?
Okay, bye. Tama naman. Bye.
It's G and Shandala on Pinoy Podcast.